G'day guys, and welcome to my latest dry aging experiment. Here we have a blade section of the carcass. I've been doing a lot of research online. I've been looking on all the forums and all the Facebook groups, and I cannot find anybody that has dry aged one of these. Even on Google, there isn't really a whole lot of information, so I thought, why not try it? So what I really want to get out of this is a couple of flat iron stakes. And right here under the scapular bone, this is where they're cut from. So you can see here, and the cartilage in the middle, that's where they cut the oyster blade stakes from. There's a couple of other cuts that we'll get out of this, but there isn't a whole lot of protection underneath. You can see that there's a bit of sinew here, not a whole lot of fat on this side. Over here we have the chuck tender, the undercut. That's probably going to get destroyed going all dry. I'm probably going to lose that during the dry age. And over here is where they cut the blade stakes from. Over here is a large bone which I've had left in, which attaches onto the foreshank. And I'm hoping that's going to protect the other side. One of the things that the butcher did tell me was, as I picked it up, occasionally when they hang the carcass, this part of the oyster blade will pull away from the scapular bone and create a pocket. And if there's a pocket there, you know air's going to get in. If air's going to get in, then it's going to go moldy. So what I intend on doing to stopping that happening is trussing it up a little bit. So I'm going to try and tie this whole section together and give it a good squeeze and hopefully stop that from happening as it's aging. So I'm going to chuck it on the scales, we'll take its weight, and then we'll chuck it in the fridge. Right, so we've got it on the scales now. Price per kilo was $10.50. It weighs a grand total of 9 kilos 152 grams, and it cost me a total of $96.10. And now we will truss up this area over here, and then we're going to move it to the fridge. Right, so probably best to figure out which way I'm going to do this. I reckon I'm probably going to go maybe a few this way, and maybe a couple lengthways like that. Right, just to push up that oyster blade meat against the scapular bone. So let's take the trussing and take it like that. Pinch it in your hand, go up over, drag the string down through that hole, and drag it and tighten it where you want it. Probably go about there. And we'll tie it off again. And that's how you do a knot. So I'm going to do a couple more. Just do one more here. Do that there. Let's do the same thing. Up and over. Down through that hole. And pull. Put it where you want it. Give it a yank. And I like to tie it off a second time just in case. This string isn't really the best. Okay, so I'm going to finish these off and I'll show you what it looks like after I've finished. And here we have it, the trussed up section of the blade. Doesn't look all that pretty, but I guess it just needs to be functional enough to press this meat up against that bone, just so it doesn't separate during the dry aging process. I put a couple over this way, over here, just to sort of support it a little bit. I think it did a good job. I guess we're going to find out. Alright, let's go chuck this in the fridge. Alright, so here we have it. The blade is now in the dry aging fridge. I turned on my UVC light, and I've got my little fan down there. It's going to be pumping up the air, so it's going to be sanitizing it. I've also got my GoPro, And fingers crossed this is going to work, because the last time I did do a dry age and did a time lapse on it, the GoPro didn't take too well to the cold. So fingers crossed that's going to work out well for us. So I'm probably going to age this for probably a short age, maybe 45 days. And then I'll pull it out and we'll see how we went with it. I've got to do some studying on how to break this one down. Alright. See you in 45 days.